RPN is not responsible for the views, actions, opinions, or statements of its guests or advertisers. The information on this program is not to be construed as medical or legal advice. An appearance on this show is not to be considered an endorsement, and as always, we encourage you to do your own research. Enjoy the show. Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Livestream. Introductions aside, joining me this evening is my good friend Maryam Henein from Honey Colony and more. We'll get into the specifics here. I hope you guys are ready for another fun-filled evening. We've got so much information to talk about. Specifically, in this instance, we're going to be discussing the FDA's Operation QUACKHACK, where they go after naturopathic medicinal providers. It's absolutely insane. They don't trust you to make your own decisions in regards to your own health care. Of course, they're beholden to the pharmaceutical companies. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it, though. Please, everyone, do consider liking and sharing this broadcast. I'd really appreciate it. I shared it on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you want to retweet that, man, that would be cool. Also, if you want to follow Maryam, her information is in the description of this video. Also, if you want 20% off at her website, honeycolony.com, you can use code REDPILL78. Pretty sweet. All right, guys. Please, everyone, do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. With rapid advances in science over the years, there are much more powerful and effective ways to boost your immune system than simply the mega dose of the same vitamin C that's been available since 1933. In fact, we combined 4 of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses into our #1 immunity support product, Ageless Body. And because we actually care about you, we're putting it on sale for up to 51% off instead of price gouging like so many others are doing right now. And we'll even include free shipping within the United States until we sell out. And for good measure, we also included 167% of the daily recommended value of vitamin C in a highly bioavailable form called magnesium ascorbate. As you're aware, vitamin C alone isn't enough these days. But with Ageless Body, you get a premium form of vitamin C, plus 4 other top immune-supporting ingredients, all working together to compound your results and optimize your immunity. Ageless Body also has powerful anti-aging properties that work at a cellular level, so that's a big extra benefit too. It's no wonder they've sold over 1 million bottles. Simply put, Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most important and powerful immune-supporting ingredients available, including our #1 immunity support recommendation, turmeric, that has 46 times better absorption than most other forms. All at our lowest price ever, up to 51% off today, with free US shipping while supplies last. So visit agewithredpill.com, that's agewithredpill.com, and remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, gang, welcome back to the show, and please join me in welcoming, once again, my special guest, Maryam Henein. Maryam, how are you this evening?
Hi, RP. I'm well.
Awesome.
Jungle.
Yeah, that's right. You're living in the jungle. So we should tell everyone that since you're living in the jungle, just in case something happens, you might have like a rainstorm or something like that. And so we might need to take an intermission. I mean, I can handle it if you need to get everything back online. Maybe we'll start the call in early, but hopefully we're going to pray here that everything is going to remain online.
Yeah, I do have a generator.
Oh, good. Okay, sweet.
Fiber optics.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. They got fiber optics in the jungle.
I have better internet here than I did in Los Angeles.
That is crazy.
Very remote in the jungle.
Well, I mean, it's a small country, so I guess it wouldn't take much to run fiber optic to the whole thing. I mean, if you're bringing it into one part of the country, you might as well just run it all the way through, right?
Yeah, it's expanding. It's definitely not all over the place, but it's a prerequisite
Yeah.
for Zach and I.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, please give Zach my love. I hope that he's listening in the background. So, Maryam, for anyone who has not joined us in the past when you've been a guest, please give us an introduction to who you are. You are a researcher, a naturopathic healer. You are a documentarian. Tell us.
I am an investigative journalist of 25 years. I have a little bit of a Demi Moore thing going on today. Sorry. And I am a certified functional medicine coach and consultant. So I see a lot of, the COVID-19 through the lens of functional medicine. I'm also the director of a film called Vanishing of the Bees, narrated by Ellen Page, and founder of Honey Colony, a website that is currently arguably under attack.
So, tell us what exactly is Operation QUACKHACK and how did it affect you and your website?
All right, so I'm gonna unravel it as I've kind of put the pieces together.
Okay.
So initially, when I shared this story, which I wrote for my lawyers and for me to get the timeline, my editor was like, "Oh, I thought that was your heading. No, this is the actual operation by the FDA." So I reached out to the FDA, and quacks are, us charlatans who dare to believe in the immune system and natural remedies found in nature by God, universe, creator. And hack, according to them, actually gives them allowance to use disruptive means to go after these supposed quacks. Now, this is all under the umbrella of COVID-19, because hopefully by now people realize that COVID-19 is used to usher in whatever they would like, from digital certificates to China Light, social credit system, contact tracing, so forth. So the way I learned about it was initially Zach in April got a letter asking him to remove a plug for Alex Jones's silver. Now, he and I have been covering COVID-19. It happens.
Yeah, you go ahead and keep talking. I'm just going to turn off my camera real quick and calm them down. I can hear you.
Sure. Okay. So Zach got a notice via Alex regarding our Man on the Street, which we filmed pre-Oscars, in regards to coronavirus. And I called it, "Is this the virus that didn't cry wolf?" Well, I was right, because even if this is the virus that cried wolf, it's considered real under these pretenses now. And I'm not saying there's no virus. In any case, we plugged as independent sponsors Alex's silver, not my chelated silver. So he took the video down. I realized a couple days later, a friend of mine sent me my warning letter from not only the FDA, by the FTC. And Jim Baker was implicated, Alex Jones, Dustin Nemos, and Honey Colony. And what occurs in conjunction is smear pieces. So I've received 5 smear pieces, 3 of them from Media Matters, which is the Soros backed publication. Now, at one point, I wrote a newsletter, which I think is going to my 40,000. I'm having a private conversation. This Eric Hanoki of Media Matters ostensibly went and read on milled.com and pulled. This is like using, scouring and looking at our Instagram, and our transgression was saying that the best way to deal with coronavirus or COVID-19 is prevention. And under this quack hack, you cannot use the word mitigate. You can no longer use the word prevention. As you know, Susan Wojcicki from YouTube is getting orders from the WHO. And they did not only come after me for silver, but also vitamin C and magnesium. When I first started doing the research, there were, I believe, 54 letters. Then there were 93. We're now up to 102. Now, these fall under a subsection of FDA called CDER, which has to do with drugs. Now, my question is silver considered a drug? No, it's an antimicrobial. It's a precious metal. There's a lot of, just like we're saving seeds, we're saving science papers because now there is an attack. So just to go back to the chronology. So the first people that we think that they got the letter was the Genesis Church. Jordan Sather has spoken about MMS, and they are a church. So Mark Griffin was on Alex Jones, and he uses the C word. Now, do you know what the C word is?
No.
Cure.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're not supposed to say that. Yeah.
But as a church, he can say it. He actually says, like you read a disclaimer, he says that he has a proclaimer. So he appeared on Alex Jones, and I had a conversation with him this morning because I'm gathering more information as we go, and spoke on Alex Jones, got Alex in trouble. From my sources, Alex had bought a quantifiable amount of silver and then was disabled from selling that silver. I've spoken to another company that has had, and this is in the past, $89,000 seized, $91,000 seized, never to be returned. This was in the days of Ebola. There are studies that show that silver can help. Now, let's make the distinction that silver is used best for bacteria because it disables a substrate it disables a substrate so the bacteria cannot grow. The way it works is thought to work with viruses is that it stops the proliferation. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a functional medicine consultant and coach, and I'm not a scientist, but I've been selling silver. So the idea of us falling under the umbrella of profiting, like, okay, guys, let's get something quick. We're snake oil salesmen, make money. That is not correct. We have been selling silver for 10 years. Silver is established. Now, of course, there are people who poison us and take advantage of us, but this is not the case. And so go back to Mark Griffin. So then Jim Baker, I don't know if you're aware that Jim Baker did a episode talking about colloidal silver. Had you heard this? The evangelist.
No.
So the media all over the world started stating that he was making straight out claims. I thought that too. I thought that, like, what is this guy doing? Anyone in this space knows not to use the C word, especially not with COVID-19. It was all lies. I spoke to someone who was helping with his production. Jim Baker ended up having a stroke from the stress. Another woman I spoke to had during Ebola 200 bottles seized. The honorable whoever in Sierra Leone had stated outright 500 people had been cured. And then he stopped communicating with this silver seller. And she also argues that her husband was wrongfully killed. Wow. And this is happening. I know people personally that have gotten death threats if they were to reveal information. When I was making Vanishing of the Bees, I was told to watch my tires, and I've had, I can't prove it. And so just to say, if this person went on to work for Monsanto, just to establish this is no joke, and this is an attack on wanting people to forget that they have an immune system, to want them to live in fear, which is also a stressor and impacts your immune system, and arguably to be indoors, which is also not healthy, but to be helpless, and that big pharma has all the answers.
What's especially shocking to me is that colloidal silver has for generations been used, and for many years it was used as the first line of defense, like on the battlefield. Okay, like men would come off of the battlefield with wounds, and they would immediately dope them with colloidal silver, put it on them because it stops the infection. And so for them to go after people using it for the exact same thing that it has been historically used for is shocking. And I know they even still use it in hospitals.
They use it in sterile gauzes.
Mm-hmm.
They use it in the army. If you go to the Environmental Protection Agency, it's listed as a disinfectant. Mm-hmm. So you have to ask why. Mm-hmm. Are they going to do what they did with CBD? I looked, and this is, again, just doing research, and I put in a search for Charles Lieber and silver. A lot of his patents use silver as the part of, as a substance that can go into the body and not cause harm. So you have to wonder. Now, I'll just read to you, because we're now involving also the DOJ. So for instance, there was Zephyr is their name. Imagine waking up in the morning and you're cut off at the server level, and you have to post a message stating that the DOJ and the FDA have basically put you out of business after 2 decades of you selling silver.
Who did this happen to? To you?
A company called, a company called Zephyr.
Zephyr, okay.
So we had to, in the case of Honey Colony, address, expunge, delete our transgressions. And if you go on Amazon and also look at the big players like Sovereign Silver, they're not having issues. We also have to make the distinction between colloidal silver. What I found interesting as an aside, for whatever reason, and Helen of Destroy brought this to my attention, that now on Amazon, it says that the only safe colloidal silver is below 10 ppm. That is what would cause argyria, a very low colloidal silver. That is not correct. You do not want to use something that's less than 10 ppm, and you would have to take copious amounts. And one of the people that was writing a smear piece, a site called Fair Warning, tried to get me to say that I'm advocating for swallowing silver. She was trying, I could see, make the parallel between President Trump supposedly saying to swallow disinfectant,
which he didn't.
And I didn't fall for her. I'm like, oh, it was condescending, but I was like, oh dear, I'm not gonna fall. And I said, I've been taking silver for 10 years. Do I look like a Smurf to you?
Right.
No. So Zephyr got snipped at the butt at the server level, and just to say that there's injunctions for other companies where the DOJ is sending them. So they're filing criminal charges. These people are facing criminal charges. So this is quite, and just to note also, when we got the letter, and the initial letter that is posted on the FDA is dated May 7th, they state that their Operation QUACKHACK started in March, but there is no press release stating the official launch of QUACKHACK. Now, another thing, because big tech is working now hand in hand with HHS, FDA, EPA, they're all getting tech facelifts. So you can ostensibly, if you're a malevolent human, and we're evoking Snitch Nation, you can go to these FDA because they're displayed, and you can tweet all day long. So this Eric Hanoki of Media Matters has tweeted many times against Honey Colony, displaying all of our ads. Now, also, what's his name? Is it Jeremy Kahn or Steve Hahn of the FDA commissioner? He also tweeted out against Honey Colony, arguably when he was under quarantine, or whoever's doing, but it was during the week that he proclaimed that he was under self-quarantine. So this is nonsense, and this is an attack. I saw today a letter for iodine. So they're also going after iodine, MMS, like I stated, vitamin C, vitamin D, and a whole bunch. We also know that last year, not a lot of people knew this, but they were fighting, the FDA was fighting compounding pharmacies. So, for
Really?
instance, yeah, for instance, I was using a substance to help me sleep. I forget now, but it was also used as a nootropic and could be abused. And I put in an order on a Friday. For whatever reason, they didn't take my credit card. Monday came along and I hadn't gotten a notice. And I called them and they said, the FDA just announced it. We have to take it off the shelves. And I'm like, but you have it on record that I paid for it before this happened. Gone overnight. This nootropic that I wish I knew the name of right now, but they're going after, for instance, turmeric because they're about to patent it. So it makes me wonder, what are they really doing with silver?
How are they patenting turmeric? Is it the curcumin? Is it the
Yeah.
main? Oh, so they're patenting curcumin, which is ironic because the advertisement I just played for my sponsor, the main ingredient, well, one of the major ingredients in the product is turmeric, and it's a super high concentration of curcumin.
Wow.
This is, you know why this makes me so angry? Is because all of these things that they're going after are found in nature, okay? And the what they're doing, what they're clearly doing, is honing everybody into a single lane where the only place that you can get any type of an ailment treatment is going to be directly from a pharmaceutical company or from an approved vendor. No one can heal themselves. No one is going to be able to use these time-tested, age-old remedies to, give themselves treatment. It's all going to be through one specific place. I don't personally like going to the doctor. I'll be real honest with everybody here. I didn't grow up going to the doctor, okay? I went a handful of times when I was a kid. I didn't get the poke and the medicine that way, all right? I'm not even going to say the V word here because then they'll really come after me. But turmeric is something that I take on a regular basis. If they if they patent it and they take it off the shelf, are they then going to take turmeric root off the shelf as well? Is it going to be illegal if you process it and dry it out yourself? And what about people who have colloidal silver makers? I've got a colloidal silver maker. Are they going to come into my home and arrest me for producing my own antibacterial products?
Well, with the turmeric, if there's a food supply shortage coming down, this is why, regardless, we have become too dependent. And this is why I chose to come specifically to this community, because they're farmers. There's no shortage of food. Yes, the importations, like they closed the border in Nicaragua, there was some rivals. And so there is going to be importation. It's very difficult to bring quality food here. So you have to be self resilient and as far self dependent as far as coming into your home. In the UK, I just read today regarding travel that they have license to come into your home to see if you're following quarantine measures for 2 weeks, and you can get fined.
That's
So
ridiculous.
they are the commission, the world in Europe, the WHO commissioner in Europe has stated on record that they could come into your homes and take people away. And absolutely, that's the thing. Who is practicing medicine? Who are the quacks? I saw, just to diverge a little bit, probably the most powerful documentary thus far on a contract nurse that's at Elmhurst, the epicenter of the
I
epicenter.
just saw it. I
Right?
am trying to get her on the show. Yes, Aaron Olszewski. Yeah.
And it's what I've been saying. I have it on record regarding the ventilators, that they are the last nail on the coffin. And it's heartbreaking to listen and hear that a 37-year-old, there was one person in that hospital that survived, and it's because he pulled out the tube out of his own mouth.
Wow.
because no one considers that bag, the IV bag, because you're sedated, you're intubated, the cocktail of a sedative, it's a cocktail of different things. You're not there.
Yeah. It's a junkie's best dream. I was shocked to learn that. I mean, to hear that people were coming in just with maybe a little bit of difficulty breathing, perhaps some anxiety because of all of the mainstream media hype about this thing. And then the first thing they do is they give them a super cocktail of the best narcotics that you can get and then put them on a ventilator. Of course, if you give people the medicines that she was talking about, of course they're going to have labored breathing, okay? Your respiratory system, everything is going to be depressed. So then they put them on the ventilator and they have absolutely no care about the standard of care. They don't care about the Hippocratic Oath. They don't care about saving people. They just want that $29,000 check from the federal government. And like, guys, this is honestly a huge issue that I think Donald Trump needs to know about. All of these regulations, additional red tape, additional like restraints on us and our rights. Healthcare is an important thing here in this country. Okay, the streamlining of healthcare, the creation of a single standard of care is one step away from standardized, socialized medicine, okay? I can guarantee you they want to get everybody into the same line so that it'll just be that much easier to just slap the rule book down with all the regulations on how everybody is supposed to get their health care from here on out. And that way they'll be able to, just turn on the switch and then we're in a socialist country. I mean, this is their absolute dream. If they can go ahead and get this into play, then it's that much easier to control people at the base level.
Because they're all sick. We're already dealing with 1 in every 2 people have the chronic illness. And I think I've mentioned these stats. 54% of children are ill. They have ideally paved the way with their crappy poison food supply to create a perfect cytokine storm. In regards back to just President Trump, that maybe because they told him that they needed ventilators, he's, it's probably the most heard word that, I was joking that I've left the house. I've heard the word ventilator more times than I've left the house under lockdown. And to boast that we're ventilator kings, Andrew Cuomo went on record and he said they don't come out. They can choose to go cannula and put oxygen, and for money, and Aaron mentions 29,000, but I've seen in other reports that it's 39,000. And, then the money that they get just to classify as coronavirus or COVID-19 to bloat the numbers, to continuously scare the people. And in this report, to mix non-COVID-19 patients with COVID-19 patients.
That was shocking.
It was so shocking. It was so, it's the most powerful, really concluding the things that many of us have been saying since February, if not earlier, in regards to this exaggerated virus crisis. And let's not forget, Elmhurst was also the kind of epicenter during Ebola, and is lauded as this exemplary hospital. And she goes on record to say that the hospital she worked with in Iraq was better than this American hospital. And also that Cuomo initially forbid hydrochloroquine. We've established that, one, we need zinc with it, and also that it's best used in the beginning, but that also the people are told to stay at home. And I've called nursing homes and I've called hospitals, and they're dissuaded from coming into the hospital. We also have to think about, with the shortage of nurses or all the layoffs, who dealt with all the injuries regarding all these riots, all the people who got injured with rubber bullets,
or a statue getting knocked over on your head.
Right. Yeah. We also have to wonder, just like putting things like what happened to all those prisoners that were released? Are they
Mm-hmm.
part of this operation where they've just all been hired? They're the perfect candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Are these masks that, now Dr. Blaylock, Dr. Judy Mikovits have explained why we're rebreathing our viral particles? We're
Mm-hmm.
not getting a fresh air. Are they masks or are they muzzles?
Mm-hmm.
Is this virtue signaling? Is this dehumanizing us? I think so.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And like we were talking before the program, my daughter and I went out today, and I mean, I in the area where I live, many places say you're not allowed to go in without a mask. I refuse to wear a mask unless it's absolutely not. Like if I have to go in there, then I'm going to wear it. But then I'm going to take it off once I get inside. Once I get past the people who are going to be policing me. But today it was a small shop. There was only two people there, and it was impossible for me to not wear the mask. And it was and my daughter and I were talking about like that dehumanization, like how just strange it is, and unsettling to look at another person and just see those eyes like creepily staring at you over the top and not be able to see the rest of the face. You lose all of these social cues that you would normally have. You're like,
Exactly.
who is this person and what do they want from me? It's very scary. Real quick, let me say thank you to Trisha Q. Patriot, Texas. She said, I sent you an email today regarding the second wave of CV-19. I found out the name of the place. Employee came into the nursing home with CV-19 and it spread like wildfire. My friend's future mother-in-law is in intensive care on a ventilator. I told him what to do, waiting to hear if they let them intervene. I'm so sorry to hear that, Trisha. Also, Andy said, thank you, Red Pill, for all you do. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you for that, Andy. And then there were some other people who sent something earlier. Bridget, thank you very much. And then there was a whole bunch more that were from the last couple of days. Twins Enterprises, let's see, Angela, Jeff, and Boz. Thank you very much to all of you. And Dale Burstier as well. Dale is a big fan of the show. He's been in there for a long time. And then also, let me just say thank you to... Got two more. Gaffer Anon. He says Muffingate funds. Thank you for that, Gaffer. And then also Larry, Cynthia, Deborah, and Alice. Thank you all for supporting the show. So,
It's like
so
romper room. Do you remember?
What's
Romper
that? Romper Room. I've heard of Romper Room, but I mean, I it's been a long time. I think I was like very young when I saw it. So with these letters that are getting sent out, okay, are they threatening you with any legal repercussions if you don't do something?
Well, yeah. I mean, my merchant processor held on to my funds, RP.
Indefinitely, or have they released them?
No, we sent in the letters, my lawyer, so I had to spend money on, like I said, expunge, pay for a lawyer, money we don't have. And they released the funds this week. So that can be detrimental. And I consider myself blessed because, as I've stated, other people's 23-year-old businesses, poof, gone. There's injunctions and people are having to show up for court and face criminal charges. So I wanted to just read the part about the DOJ.
Sure.
So, okay. It is spearheaded by two FDA offices, the Office of Criminal Investigations, Cybercrime Investigations Unit, and the Office of Regulatory Affairs Health Fraud Team. So I have to dig deeper at the maze, but also the FTC sent a letter as well, and the FTC is also very much involved. And we'll see, because every single day there seems to be more letters. So what I did was I went to the warning letters, and because there's this public shaming, I went and I emailed a whole bunch of people the other day, because I appeared on Mike Adams to also discuss. So I'm going to look at a little bit of my notes in regards to. Oh yeah, I'll say this. I had a Zoom call with the chemical engineer, PhD, scientist that makes our 4,000 ppm chelated silver, because
Hmm.
this is an attack on all silvers. There's iconic, there's nano, there's chelated, and then there's the colloidal silver. He had someone that wanted to white label the same silver that we make. And the FDA, for whatever reason, would make regular visits to check his shelves. And he told him, "Don't bother. We're going after all types of silver." Now, as I stated, we're collecting scientific papers where it even, in some cases, says coronavirus in the paper. I have one white paper. This chemical engineer, who, by the way, had to excuse our Zoom call to go to another Zoom call, which was a funeral, a virtual funeral. Meanwhile, George Floyd has had how many memorials so far in a golden casket? Anyways, so he
In a
was,
rather short casket, I would say as
yes,
well. Yeah.
absolutely. But then again, I just saw footage today. I don't know if you saw it, that he didn't have legs. There's some crazy.
What?
Yeah.
No, no.
They show the footage, and
I only heard he was 6'4". I love it though. Keep going.
I would like to say, I'll go back because I would like to say something about the medical examiner.
Maryam, I'm sorry. People are saying they're having a hard time hearing you. I've got you
Really?
turned up. Yeah, yeah. If you just, can you like angle the mic up a little bit more towards your?
Yeah, I don't want people to not hear me.
There you go. Yes, it's a very important subject. They must hear you. There we go.
Let me also. So is this better?
Yeah, as long as you're speaking directly into the mic. Yeah, yeah. I mean, see me. I'm just.
Okay, so I was saying something before I've diverged to talking about silver. Okay, so the chemical engineer, I was
Yes.
doing an interview with him. I learned, I didn't know that he was graduate of Duke University.
Ah,
So this brings us to Billy Boy and Fauci the fraud.
yes.
So there's the Doris Duke Foundation, where he is vice chair, I believe. He sits on the Doris Duke Foundation. So Dr. Gary Gruen, every time he's wanted to do an independent study for his specific silver, there is always pushback. Now, I play a sick rendition of Where's Waldo, except it's Where's Bill Gates. And I actually did a little cutout where I cut out Waldo, and I put Bill's face there. And by the way, everyone, tomorrow's Operation Expose Bill Gates. And there's a tweet that I shared regarding Bill just in a minute, exposing who he is. Please check it out. So tomorrow, hashtag expose Bill Gates.
All
So
right.
I
I'm going to
go,
share your Twitter in the chat as well, so
please,
that everybody
yes.
can
I live
follow.
in Twitterville, and I work for tweets. I'm reporting as I'm researching. I'm creating these threads, and it's sad that I'm censored, but there's a lot of like scraping of archival footage and breaking information, like 2 lawsuits that I found dealing with Fauci. So back to, just to finish up this story, that he's not been able to fund any independent studies because he gets pushback, and Bill Gates has funded a whole bunch of grants to Doris Duke Foundation. And I'll say one more thing, that when I got these FDA letters, oh, little Maryam, little B, who is she, right? Who am I to get 5 smear pieces? That I was like, let me see what I could find on you, Fauci. So I found a lawsuit that was filed against Dr. Anthony Fauci by a Dr. Michael Hall in regards to Zika back in 2016, again, around presidential election, where Fauci got $1.1 billion. The tagline back then was stop the bite, fight the bite, fight the bite. And it just so happens that I have written extensively about Zika. And I knew that that was an operation for a new V, which I won't say the word either.
Thank you.
To justify more releasing of chemicals, whether it was in the epicenter of Brazil or in Dade County, Miami. And 3, to issue the release of genetically modified mosquitoes that are made by Oxitec, which also has links to Billy Gates and the NIH. And just to say, with the GMO, by the way, that the Terminator mosquitoes in close proximity to a certain antibiotic do not terminate and therefore mate with a regular female mosquito and create who knows what.
Wow.
So back to the
I remember like when Zika reared its ugly head and, everybody had a bunch of small-headed babies down in South America. And it was like everybody had just forgotten about the fact that they had released all of those genetically modified mosquitoes. Like as soon as I heard one and I was like, ooh, that's not going to be good for the population down there. And then you hear about these babies being born. And it was like, you could go from point A to point B. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to draw that line. But apparently the vast majority of the population just didn't see it, and I'm shocked by it. But the thing I'm not shocked about is that Zika seems to have completely disappeared as soon as the election went by.
They did create a new V for it. I want to say that in Brazil, they also put a certain toxin, a pesticide in the water that starts with P. I don't know if it's a pyrethrin. And also in Miami, which this suit was filed, and I had on Twitter found a man by the name of Ian Trottier, who along with several were going to the council in Dade and begging to stop spraying narrated, which is an organophosphate, which guess what? Causes microcephaly, shrunken baby brains.
Yep.
And so this suit, which implicates Dr. Fauci and the NIH and Florida state officials and the EPA, insinuating or alleging that they were giving mixed messages to the people. And in one of the exhibits, in one paragraph, it says, we believe that narrated is safe. 2 lines down, we advocate to avoid chemical pesticides at all costs in the same paragraph.
Wow.
So he filed this suit, and then a year later, the spraying did go away, although the case was dismissed. Fauci never showed up. And he saw him at the Aspen Institute. So I found this lawsuit, and I was like, bingo. The next day I called, and he was willing to talk. He was in the Bahamas under lockdown with zilcho coronavirus, COVID-19 cases, lockdown. In any case, we have a conversation. I say, well, did you ever have an interaction with Fauci? So a year later, he's at the Aspen Institute. Fauci's there speaking. He speaks there often. He approaches him, and he says, Fauci has not practiced medicine, by the way, or seen patients in a long time. He's presided over 6 presidencies. So he asks him, and he says, I had a lot of patients come in complaining of rashes, respiratory issues. Why did you spray the people? And he actually said, for optics, for the sake of tourism in Miami.
That's insane. Absolutely insane. So is he also on the Florida Tourism Board as well? I mean, what is his financial gain from that? And actually, Gaffer Anon, thank you very much, Gaffer Anon. Gaffer Anon sent me a dietary supplement named Cavanase. Is that the sleep aid that you used to take? Cavanase Ultra PM. It is the this is melatonin is the melatonin 4-amino-3 phenylbutyric acid.
Phenylbutyric. I have it with me because I called the Capital Drugs in Los Angeles, and I cleaned them out, although I haven't been using it because I was dealing with mold toxicity. I could go pull it because I'm really curious to share it, but I won't. I'll tell you later. But it wasn't Cavanase. Is Cavanase from Kava?
Well, I mean, that was the first thing I thought. Looks like melatonin is the number one ingredient. Then there's a proprietary blend of 4-amino-3 phenylbutyric acid and hydroxytryptophan from Griffiania simplicifolia seed extract, something.
I'm a big fan of tryptophan. I'm a big fan of HTTP for sleep, and I sell them as liposomal melatonin, and I love it.
I've only ever had regular melatonin. I didn't know there was a difference between types of melatonin.
Well, I found that when I was taking other types of melatonin that I would get, it causes grogginess. And people complain about that, but the liposomal allows to, bypass the liver and hepatic first pass and go straight into the bloodstream. And also melatonin is a great antioxidant and is, of course, very, very much needed. And just as an aside, when you're dealing with mold toxicity, you're oftentimes dealing with REM and effect to your pineal gland and the function of what tryptophan to melatonin and the cofactors that are needed, like bees, for instance. In any case, what were we just? Okay, I just want to finish on Fauci.
Keep going. I'm gonna let you do that. I gotta let the dog in. Keep talking.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so in regards to the Doris Duke Foundation, I then found a lawsuit that Dr. Fauci had filed against Imelda Marcos. Why?
Really? Was it for shoes?
It just so happened that I had been hired. I love research and finding dirt and putting connections together. So I've been hired. Maryam, find us research on like Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, the Korean dictator, and Imelda.
All the big ones from the 90s, right?
Yes. The good old days. So just to sum up, this is very strange. So in a nutshell, Doris Duke comes from Big Tobacco. So let's keep that in mind. I believe she died in 1993. She was pals with Imelda. They both at one point lived in Hawaii. The suit is filed in Hawaii. Imelda was caught in New York for trafficking. So if for people who don't know, aside from her shoe fetish, that Imelda and her now deceased husband had millions of money of that they don't know where it came from, and they don't know where it is.
And it probably came from drug trafficking with Clowns in America, though. Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. If anybody doesn't know those names, then definitely go check it out. It is a very interesting story. George H.W. Bush is involved.
So here we are. I believe, I don't know when Imelda gets the racketeering and is thrown in jail in New York. And Doris says, you don't have to pay me back those $5 million until you deal with whatever's going on with the Filipino government. So that's like endless. So after her death, and I believe that he became Chairman Fauci, he also did schooling at Duke, and then I believe he became in 1995 or 1996, I believe, chairman of. So after the fact, they file a lawsuit against Imelda. They don't get their money, and I never heard of this, that you can extend a lawsuit for another 10 years. Now, mind you, it accrues interest, so it's now $10 million. By the time the 10-year round is passes, well, the original members of the trust, 2 of them have resigned and 1's dead, but Fauci, he's still on there. And so this is an open-ended. It's just when I saw Imelda Marcos,
that's crazy. Fauci has his fingers in a lot of pies here. That little guy, man. Fauci that rat. Rose Quartz says Fauci that rat. That's right. He is a rat of rats.
I'll share another story that if people, your audience don't know, that Allison Fauci works for Twitter. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. That's his wife or his daughter?
No, his wife.
His wife. Okay.
Grady is the wife, and she's also, in there and embedded in the V deep state. But so she is a computer scientist, and I had looked for her, and this is a bizarre story. I looked for her, I couldn't find her on Twitter, which I found bizarre. I was having a conversation with Jason Goodman, and I told him Allison Fauci works for Twitter, and he found her. She only had 579 followers. So I don't know if it was a new Twitter account. I think it was Fauci for the win.
Oh, man.
Is the handle anyway? So I tell him, but I find it. But as you're finding it, maybe I'm wrong on the handle, but I think it's Fauci for the win. So I tell Jason Goodman. He doesn't tell me that he follows her, but I find her, and we both follow her at the same time. And then he says, "Oh my God, I just got blocked," within seconds. And then I'm like, "Oh my God, I just got blocked." And then my power hit, and I lost my power for 4 hours.
Wow, they are like overlords. They knew immediately. Okay, I found her Twitter profile. I'm not going to show it because I don't want to be accused of like bullying, but she does have her Twitter account locked down.
How many people does she have now?
Well, still 519 followers and 1,076 that she is following. Now, hang on, let me see if I can. Oh, because she's protected, I can't see who she's following. All right, so those 519 people must be people that she knows, like, personally. So as soon as you and Jason went to follow her, she was like, "Oh, I smell something fishy." So then she blocked you.
She was just on? It just so happened that she was on? Are there bots?
Some people are like, okay, I was thinking about this today. I was wondering how I could bring this into the show to talk about it.
Great.
Okay, so we have been conditioned, okay? Everything on our phones gives us a notification. And when we get like, a like on our Facebook post or somebody shares our Twitter tweet, and then we get the notification and then we're looking for text messages and then the calls, we get the dopamine rush, okay? And there have been studies, people have their phone in their hands 24 hours a day and like you see people jerk and then they got to look at their phone and so like notifications come through and there is a pathological need to clear out those notifications. Probably one of the most liberating things that ever happened to me was starting this channel because I had to turn off my notifications. I couldn't handle it. I was getting anxiety from getting so many notifications and not being able to clear them. I was staying up all night. And so I got to tell people all the time, please, don't take it personally if I don't respond to you or if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with my workload. Now, of course, there are implications in my real life. I have to like specifically go to look at times because I need to get some notifications. But but it has liberated me from that constant looking at my phone and needing to, satisfy that urge. Now, some people, perhaps Allie, because she knows that she only has so many people that follow her and she knows, when people are going to be, sending her a message or whatever. So she gets that tweet notification. She immediately looks at it and she says, "Who in the heck is Maryam Henein?" And, block. And she's like, "Well, I've heard about Jason Goodman, block," So, that could be it.
I'm a fan of Jason Goodman.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I always just thought it was an easy joke to throw in there.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah. Well, okay. And Elizabeth says, use Do Not Disturb. I have used Do Not Disturb in the past, but then I forget to turn it off. And then like an alarm won't go off or like somebody that I need to get a notification, like a phone call, then I won't get the phone call. I feel like I have reached like a happy medium between myself and my phone,
That's
so I just
good.
have no notifications for anything except like, personal text messages. And, the only people who have my private phone number are the people that, I know that I need to be in contact with. So, it is what it is. But I'll tell you guys, it's nice not looking at your phone all the time and being like, "Oh my God, I have like hundreds of thousands of Twitter notifications that I just can't clear out. It's impossible."
Yeah, and we have regular power outages here. So to the point where like, oh my, we don't care that we're in the dark. Just keep the internet on
There you go. Yeah.
because we wake up independently
Mhm.
and we're both just digging like 10 hours. And like yesterday I had to just I went to the beach, and by the way, the beach is closed. I did a clip and I posted it on. So it's all cordoned off, but the path parallel to the beach, that's okay, folks. You can walk on that. You will not get COVID-19. So
But if you walk
meanwhile,
on sand, it's a real danger to your health.
we trespassed and we risked 2 years in jail, and it was glorious. It was Zach, I, and crabs and pelicans, and we walked the whole Dominical beach, and it was beautiful, and I hope we do it again. Go like the backside, and I have a trespassing fetish, but I do. I used to go into houses as they're getting built
Oh,
when I was
yeah.
young.
When I was younger, there was several neighborhoods that were just like old abandoned houses, urban exploring, we would call it. And we just,
I like
you never take anything, you don't deface anything,
no.
you have to leave everything exactly as it is because that's the charm, I mean, to go
You can have
into
a picnic.
Yes, yeah, or you can,
Mhm.
just sit down and hang out and talk for a little bit. But mostly, you go in and you just look at all this stuff, and obviously, if it's someone's house and they're coming back, like you wouldn't do it. But there were certain houses that were open and abandoned, and we would just, go check them out, hang out when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Now look, we're defiling, like this is like you've shown us more than ever that we definitely need the popo, because is this the way you're going to behave? Like anarchy, defiling, acting like juvenile delinquents, which by the way, early on, Burks made a message to the millennials, because I don't want to generalize, but they're closest to AI bots.
Oh yes.
They're the ones that are throwing bricks, the youth
Hmm.
that are programmed, if you believe in the um, blank slate theory, and
Mm.
clearly we're seeing lots of programmed
In action.
people. So she sent out a message. I want to also say that in regards to this, what I believe is a George Floyd false flag psyop, um, that he was diagnosed with
I
COVID-19.
saw that. How did he
So
get a test?
tell me, why isn't, let me speak to you. Courtney is your name, your fiance, girlfriend.
Mhm.
Apparently in April, you guys or he got diagnosed with, I want to know, how did that happen? Did El Nuevo Rodeo with their links to the cartel and
To the
oh
Peruvian counterfeiters.
yeah, and Omar Investments, which by the way, all of Precinct 3. I looked on Google. I'm like, just out of the blue, I'm like, I'm gonna see if ENR El Nuevo is near the precinct. 2-minute drive.
Yeah, yeah. And all
Two
the
minute.
connections to Omar as well, like the lawmaker Ilhan. Yeah, there's too much. There's too much that's happening in that whole situation for it to be like a natural thing. I mean, it's just you look at it, and that the place where they used to work just happens to go up in flames just like a matter of days before he just happens to be dispatched in the middle of the street. It's just insane.
Right. So yes, if I thought a lot about the Ozarks. I don't know if you've seen that
Oh, I love
program.
Ozark. Yeah, yeah. It's a great
You
show.
need a legit operation, but when coronavirus hits and everything shuts down, then what? We established that in January 27th, as Wuhan is shutting down and 36 million people are under shutdown, well, Minnesota State Department stops a counterfeit operation
Mm-hmm.
from made in China.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we know that there's corruption there. So in regards to this, the fact, I interviewed Giovanni of the Latin Club, and I
Mm.
don't think it was a good idea for him to speak to me, because I really look at details. He told me on record that he spoke to Maya, the front woman, who has a Raza, which has been shown to have Soros money. And also, and I'm not saying anything. If I have speculation, I'll state that it's speculation, but I found data because I've called the medical examiner 3 times. I have them on record. I because I was like, how is CNN showing this autopsy report? Where's the autopsy report? And the medical examiner said, you're not going to have a death certificate for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then they sent out 3 renditions of the autopsy report. And just want to say that on Tuesday, the mainstream put out that they fired Andrew Baker, which was the medical examiner of Hennepin County. Did you hear that?
I saw that in your video just before we started. So is that because he didn't report what they wanted him to report because he reported it honestly?
We didn't like your results.
Yeah.
And quote, you've caused irreparable damage to the Black community. So I was at the beach and I read that, and I'm like, I need to look into this guy because I wanted to know, and I thought, is this a compromised medical examiner? I've read the 20-page full report. It's exhaustive and it's detailed, and it runs a toxicology report and it looks at underlying and it also, what's interesting is the medical interventions. They have catheters in his tibia. The police got there at 8:25. At 9:25, an hour, which is remarkable how they got him to the hospital. What happened in the ambulance? And when did all this medical intervention occur? And also, this is being tried in the media. It is wrong to say that he was murdered. What happened to innocent? And I'm not at all.
No, you're totally right. You know, I mean, like, due process out the window.
Out the window. Everything's out the window under coronavirus and this pandemic, manufactured racial war. How do we know that it was race? They worked together. They maybe both were into shady crap.
Well, they
together.
definitely knew each other, and his family has even come out and said that they think that there was some grudge between them, but still, you know, the big R word because just because.
So I was going to say, Giovanni, his supposed best friend, his landlord, and his employer at the Latin Club, says on record he called Maya and that they worked different shifts. So that shows me right away, I'm so sorry, you have to go revisit your Cliff Notes, because initially, then Benjamin Crump, who, by the way, was also the lawyer on the Eric Garner case, who, by the way, Eric Garner also said, I can't breathe 11 times. And journalist Matt Taibbi wrote a book called I Can't Breathe.
Yeah, a bit of a narrative there.
Because also, if you read the incident report, he said, I can't breathe when he was still in the car. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a narrative. When Bridget was interviewed the day after, she's wearing I Can't Breathe. I think
she's
that's
already
a little...
got it made.
So are print shops essential under coronavirus? Did she get that as a gift?
Right.
I'm just asking questions, folks.
Asking for a friend. Well, listen, we're going to keep talking, but I want to let everybody know I've opened up the phone. So if you've got any questions for Maryam about, FDA and stuff, obviously because of the sensitivity of the cure word, please be careful in the way that you phrase questions if it's in regard to a specific ailment or treatment or something like that. But please give us a call, you guys. And if you could refrain from self-promotion, I appreciate it, because I want to get as many good quality questions for Maryam before we end the show tonight. Now, I just need to do a couple more quick thank yous. Thank you to Larry. Thank you to Kyle. And thank you again to Gaffer. Now, there was somebody else that sent something, and Rain, I thought that it had something to do with you, and for some reason, they keep kicking me out of my PayPal so that I can't thank the people who have sent something. Let's see. I don't know where that message was. I could have sworn I saw a message with your name, Rain. But anyways, Bayou Swamp Juice. My buddy's there at Rain right there. My name, what she says, my name is D No No. We are fine with it, but they threaten to take our permits if we don't stop. I don't know what's going on there, but these are the people who made me some special vape juice, and they have. There's a discount code, but I go ahead and drop the discount code into the chat, and you guys can get your own custom vape juice from them and get a good deal. And it's great stuff. All right, Tony T is on the line. Totally Tony T is on the line next. Tony, you're on the air. What's going on? She's coming through. She just got to get connected, apparently. All right. And then if somebody, Rain, if you want to send me that message, you guys also, I need to ask for prayers for Eminem. His father just went to the, what the heck? The VA, and he's got a couple of masses that need biopsies, and he's getting treatment, but they don't exactly know what's going on yet. So Eminem, please keep us informed, and everybody pray for Eminem's dad. Tony, you're on the air. What's up, my friend?
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. Keeping it real.
I don't know how often you get your mail, but I'm so excited. They say there's more happiness in giving than receiving, and I experienced that because I found the perfect thing for you. So let me know when you get it.
I've got a backlog of 1,200 emails, so every day I'm trying to go through. I get like 400 or 500 a day, and it's killing me. So
that's
anyways,
all right.
Yeah,
that's all right.
I'll get to
Maryam,
it soon.
I just want to let you know. I don't even remember. I think it was. Didn't you talk with Red Pill about honeybees? A long time ago?
I directed the movie Vanishing of the Bees.
Yes, that's awesome. So since then I have been watching. I haven't been able to catch everything, and I just have to tell you, this is why I called in, is because I admire all the research and all the hard work that you're doing and you're putting in. I cannot possibly watch absolutely everything. I always watch Red Pill. I always watch X22, and your name pops up, and I try to watch that too. And I just think, oh my gosh, what you're doing, the time you're putting in, I think people see your dedication, and especially your heart behind it. It means everything. You're on top of stuff, and I think your reputation, your credibility is out there, and Red Pill needs to have you on as often. And he's shaking his head. He agrees with me too.
I'm so grateful as a censored person to be, and the audience is so receptive to health issues.
And trust me, Tony, I get her on here as often as I can. So don't worry, she'll be back. Yes. She'll be back in the future too.
Yeah. I have a new platform that I've been working with somebody. In fact, I told Red Pill on one of the shows, and I don't know if you were on that one, but somebody had called in and said, if we could have a patriot that is wealthy, that creates a platform for us so we're not censored. Well, guess what? That's what I'm a part of, and we're ready to launch that. And Maryam, if you would like to, Red Pill, you still know how to get a hold of me, right? Okay. And also email or whatever. But what I would love to do is to have actually both of you do separate interviews and put that on the new platform so a new audience can see who you are. And the whole thing with the one that created the platform is he wants to call out fake news, and he wants the truth out there. So we have a place. I'm not going to announce it on Red Pill's show. That'll be up to Red Pill.
There's a marketplace. There's a marketplace too, Maryam. Like there's like all kinds of different tools that come along with it. So yeah.
And the one thing that
I'm all into cross-pollinating, and we have amazing offerings, and we need help getting the word out. You know, when you do a search now, that FDA and FTC letter comes up. The people who know about natural medicine, and but it's impacted our sales because we dealt with this this is how I started using the word techno-fascism, was over CBD. 3 years, 2017, I call the year of playing whack-a-mole, being robbed, losing $250,000, and having people say, just stop selling CBD. Why can't someone be abundant by actually helping people? Why?
You know what the
That's
great
right.
irony is now at this point, Maryam, is that you can buy CBD at 7-Eleven, American
gas
Eagle.
station,
Yes,
RP.
wherever you go. So
But
why
it's
is that
crap.
okay now? Why? Well, is that why you can get it? Is
Yes.
because it's low quality, so it's not okay for you to get to
if
sell
it's
it?
an isolate and it's not enjoying full spectrum and the entourage effect. I even had processors tell me we will take you if you have less than 0.01. We use that little because in reality, when I'm consulting with people, I'll say, are you open to more THC? What is your condition? Because then you have more of the cannabinoids like CBN as well. That helps great with sleep. You want to have the plant, but the fake FDA approved Epidiolex is synthetic because this is what Western medicine does. It isolates. So when it's the crappy isolate, or it's not liposomal, all these products of like CBD and coffee, it doesn't make it to your body. It's all marketing hype. But just to say, I'm very familiar with dealing with, I never got an FDA related letter in regards to CBD, but I got robbed and I got shut down and they dismantled. And I call Honey Colony a phoenix, just like me, because I've been hit by a car, dragged 50 feet, reversed lupus, reversed fibro, dealt with mold toxicity. I'm so proud to say I'm 47 years old. So I'm walking my talk to inspire, empower, educate others. And it's unfortunate that the people are being censored. We're dropping like flies. It's definitely not just me.
No more of that. There's no need for that. There's a place in Red Pill. What I didn't tell you before is we now have a new social platform that's about to come out in conjunction with this other platform. So we mean business.
All right,
We
Maryam,
mean business.
do you have an email that you want to give to
Yes.
Tony so that she can facilitate setting up a meeting?
Yeah, it's Maryam, Mary.
Oh, of course, you're getting me without a pen.
I'm sorry, I'll wait.
Hold on.
RP, are you okay if I have to go? Because I want to go
Got
and
it.
see what that substance was that got overnight.
Yeah,
I know
you
exactly where it is.
You can go look for it. That's fine. Yeah, go grab it. Wait, just give her the email first.
Yeah, it's MA. Are you ready, Tony?
Yeah.
I really like this Demi Moore thing going on. It's because I raised my voice. MARYAM at Honey Colony.
Well, that's pretty easy. .com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. And I'll just put like metal and red pill or something like that. So red pill, get me back. I would like to have you on, and I know that you will eventually want to interview the owner of this platform and his why and what he wants to do. Yes, I know. I know how you think. I know how you think. I'm going to let this go. Gosh, I had one question I was going to leave when I sign out. Okay, y'all were talking about turmeric. Now,
Yes.
How do you say it? I don't know how to say that.
Well, turmeric or turmeric. I mean, it's like tomato, you know.
Potato.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Good, because I always say turmeric. And so I was thinking, and you were talking about a patent. Does that mean that at some point in time, any turmeric or any kind of plant that has a patent on it, that we're not going to be able to grow in our own garden?
Yeah.
I
What are
don't
the
know what the
implications?
I don't know what the status is. I can tell you to go to Honey Colony and look up, do compounding pharmacy. I edited that story. I commissioned it about a year ago, and I don't know what the status is, but it's the same thing. What we're dealing with, silver. I mean, come on, vitamin C. So okay, it's Phenibut.
Phenibut. I know Phenibut. Yeah, they took that off the market?
Overnight.
I'm familiar with Phenibut. Yeah, it's a nootropic. It's a brain drug. And it's yeah, I mean it was,
and it helps with sleep.
Yeah, it does. So there's a turmeric based technology to kill cancer that just received a U.S. patent in January. So the patent, so what they've done is they've patented its use for whatever this cancer treatment is. But I would imagine that it's not going to mean that you can't grow it yourself. I mean, it grows wild out in, but I mean, it's like, patenting whatever it is that they, extract from any plant. Like, I'm sure at one point that aspirin was patented, and I mean, that's from
willow bark.
From willow bark. Yeah. So the main ingredient. So curcumin being that main ingredient, they probably have a process to get it out and add it to this medicine. So
But
tell you what, guys.
they have to alter it somehow.
Yeah.
In order to patent it.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. Because you can't patent natural stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy world we live in, but I'm glad I'm in it with you guys.
Absolutely. Well, thank you,
All
Tony.
right,
I put the link in the chat. So if you want to get the article and what I was just seeing, then you can grab it from there.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Tony,
Talk to you soon.
Be on the lookout for your email.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace. Okay, awesome. Now, also, somebody named Karen sent me a message, says, I've been listening to you for a few months and I realize how many people come to you with health stuff. Maybe you can point me somewhere and maybe not, but I have to try because I don't know what else to do. Someone very close to them was born without a pituitary gland and the doctor says it isn't there, or very small for his age. He may go blind. His optic nerves didn't grow. He has to take thyroid medicine. I won't go into all of the specifics. His sugar sometimes drops. It looks like, and he's on some seizure medicine. Does this sound like a situation that someone could consult with you on? Karen, I hope you're watching because I would have sent you to Maryam anyways.
Well, this is the way I work. I work with a functional medicine practitioner, and then we run. I don't like throwing spaghetti on the wall and like hoping something sticks. I do, I recommend organic acids. We look at your metabolites. I have a certificate in metabolomics because the metabolites, they work in conjunction. There might be some nutritional deficiency. It's so finite. And then when you realize how myopic Western medicine is, it has its place. But from a functional medicine point of view, I would look at even antecedents, like what was the mom and dad? What were they dealing with? What kind of thyroid medication? Is it synthetic? Now in Costa Rica, I ran out of my thyroid medication and they wanted to give me a Merck medication. I went and they said that they had the medication I wanted. And it was like, are you kidding me? I'm not taking any Merck product. I'm not taking a synthetic thyroid, which only has T3 and not T4. Or sorry, T4, but not T3. So we would need to look at what state they're in, and I would help them find a doctor. I do the intake. I look at the dietary. Food is thy medicine. And then I work with someone, and they don't have to be local. And now, it's telemedicine era. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Karen, I hope you're watching. Please reach out to Maryam. And what's the best way for anyone that wants to consult with you to get a hold of you?
Again, Maryam at Honey Colony. And I offer 15 minutes free. I mean, I've been really busy lately because I'm doing line editing on I'm interviewing, I'm being interviewed, I'm writing stories, I'm helping other people with their Twitter handles like Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. So as everybody is, just juggling lots of things, but definitely don't turn people away and always try to be in service.
All right. Also, Cheryl messaged me and said that not only that restaurant slash dance club burned down, but also the police department and the U.S. Post Office. So maybe there was some mail fraud going on. Certainly, if a whole police department goes up in flames when there's not necessary political unrest taking place, that leads one to believe that some very important evidence might have been destroyed in that fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder if Chauvin was working out of that police department.
Precinct 3? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I believe he's from Precinct 3. I'd have to look at the incident reports. But, and Omar owns a lot of real estate that arguably got burnt down.
That's a lot of insurance money.
Exactly.
Gaffer Anon, can you go ahead and unmute yourself? Thank you, buddy. Long-time listener, first-time caller, Gaffer Anon. What's up, buddy?
Oh, not much. Just enjoying another Friday night live stream. Appreciate you for still being on the air, even though you've been demonetized. Yeah. So what I was frantically trying to send you via Proton, what the bottom part of that label, which listed the ingredient, which was the seed extract. Because that was the medication that my wife gets from her naturopathic doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And when she went to renew it, they were like, "Oh, sorry, this got pulled," just because of exactly what you were talking about with the guest tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Graphonia simplicifolia. Simplicifolia definitely sounds like a plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Maryam, what are you using for sleep now? If you're unable to get, I mean, obviously this isn't. Wait, is phenylbutyric acid? Is that phenibut?
So it works on the GABA receptor. That's how it works, and it's supposed to be. Well, I was taking. I have a Oura ring. It's not on anymore. But I was tracking my sleep, and I sleuthed to figure out that I was dealing with mold toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine for 2 years, imagine this, waking up every single night 5 times and getting sometimes a big whopping 16 minutes of REM, which is needed for memory.
Yeah.
And whereas the deep sleep, I wasn't lacking in deep sleep, and I was using the infrared sauna. But shortly after I met Zach and I left my apartment, which was full of mold.
Mm-hmm.
And the irony is there's tons of mold in Costa Rica. But I'm not, I'm using the melatonin. I actually haven't, this is closed. I haven't, and it's not the real thing. There's another one that's PM that has a melange of other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I just cleaned them out. I think this just has the phenibut. I think the other one, had some bees and something else.
So Luke Slytalker mentions phenibut, something that they would give to astronauts. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was developed by Russia for use by their astronauts, and it's a prescription medication over there and in Europe. And yes, the phenylbutyric acid, that is phenibut, and but it's sold now as a nootropic, and I'm going to say there's probably all kinds of places you can buy it online still with guaranteed scientific purity testing.
This company, though,
that compound,
Biotics Research was, and this is phenotropic, was a really high end, because people need to realize, like, you do not want to be getting your supplements from GNC, and you really need to look at the fillers and the inactive ingredients, because there's a lot of crap. And I have seen beautiful formulations that have been messed up by the fillers that they add, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, Gaffer, anything else you want to add there, buddy?
Actually, just to the point that you were making about the mold issue, a good friend of ours, actually my wife's AA sponsor, had gotten involved with the Rife machines with the Spooky 2. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with Spooky 2, but I've used Rife, and I've used some quantum machines also. And I'm aware of Rife and the debacle with Rife and energy and the Schumann resonance and that type of healing.
Excellent.
Tell me, what's the Spooky 2?
Spooky 2 is a machine that you can actually hook yourself up to, and you're treating yourself with different frequencies.
Yeah, I believe that, and I think there's many roads to Rome, and you have to see what jives with you. Like, Ayurvedic doesn't jive with me. So, but it jives with other people, and a lot of times you have to use an arsenal. I use an infrared sauna, and I used cholestyramine, which Shoemaker, who's kind of like this god when it comes to mold toxicity, because it's very prevalent and it goes undiagnosed. And 50% of buildings have incurred some type of water damage. Now, also the spores, ironically, the mycotoxins that are released are more dangerous than the mold, even though they're dead. And so when they're threatened because of the way that we build, or because there's water damage, whatever, it proliferates. And there's also 100,000 different types of mold. I mean, I became an expert. So much so that, you know, when I told my slumlord, he's, I'm going to come and patch it up. No, you're going to deal with my inspector that I found, and I had him step in. And you also can do an ERMI test, which is a DNA test. And I found fungus that didn't show up in the air inspection as well. But I proved that the mold in my body was the same as the mold in my bathroom. And so many people suffer. These are neurotoxins, and they suffer brain damage. I used to be smarter.
Well, you're still brilliant as far as I'm concerned. I have a closed head injury, and that definitely slowed me down a bit. I had a period of time where I had some cognitive and neurological issues, balance issues, but I feel like I've overcome it to a large degree. Gafford, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate you calling in.
Yep. See you on the Twitters.
Talk to you soon, buddy. Bye-bye. Hey, I'm glad you got your regular account back, too. Keep them both, just in case.
Yeah, right.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay. Good guy. Good guy. All right. Catherine Epler is our next caller. Catherine, you're on the air. I don't know if you can hear me yet. Looks like she's getting her audio connected. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined up on Patreon this weekend. I appreciated you guys. And then also there is Subscribestar. I know there are certain people who don't want to actually support Patreon. So far, I haven't posted any videos there. Here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you guys right now why I haven't posted any videos, is because they don't host videos. You have to put it on YouTube and then put it on Patreon. So it's weird. Like, you have to make, like, I guess you're supposed to make like a private video or an unlisted video on YouTube and then publish it only for your patrons.
Put it on Vimeo? Can you put it on
I could put it on Vimeo, but my videos are like over 5 gigs each because I do them in high quality, and there's like a limit. So, I mean, basically, I don't want to have to produce things that everybody doesn't get to watch. I want to be able to make stuff for everyone, and if people want to support the show, they do, and I appreciate it. So, all right, Catherine, you're on the air. Can you unmute? Catherine, let me try to unmute you. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Catherine is, she stepped out for a moment and she just left her computer connected. It's okay. Catherine, if you can hear me, we're going to take Aaron next, and then oh, Catherine, you just unmuted, didn't you?
Yes.
All right. Well, Aaron's coming in, but I'll make sure to mute Aaron, and we'll take him next. But Catherine, go ahead. Oh, no, I muted Catherine. Catherine, yeah. Unmute yourself. Go ahead and unmute yourself. This is a clown show. One sec, Aaron. Don't unmute yet. Catherine, come back.
I'm
Catherine.
mute.
Okay, good. Thank you for unmuting. Welcome to the program, Catherine. And what's your question for Maryam? What's up, Aaron?
All right. First of all, hello. Been a long time, Red Bill.
Thank you. Glad you're here.
I just wanted to tell Maryam how much I really appreciate what she's doing. Before Obama got re-elected, I knew Romney was going to lose, so I moved to Belize for 5 years.
There you go.
And in that 5 years, I had the opportunity to work with shaman and all kinds of healers. Mm-hmm. And there was one guy, I absolutely loved him. He was the nicest man. But I'll tell you what happened to him. And he would make all of these elixirs out of, the natural, mostly he used wood. And people would come to him because he had such a reputation for healing diabetes, cancer, all kinds of things. And the FDA showed up at his house and told him he had to stop.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, there's
Yes.
been 105 doctors or activists that have all suicided themselves. You
Yeah.
know? Right.
Yeah. And what he does now, he used to label his stuff, as for cancer.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. He used to label his bottles, like for cancer or diabetes, whatever. So now he still ships his stuff out. He just doesn't label it.
Yeah.
That's a workaround.
Yes, it was. Yeah, he was a great man. He's from a Mayan descent there, and I never loved anything more than living in the jungle. It was great.
I think it'd be so cool.
I have to say, I lived in LA, and for 23 years, I'm from Montreal, and I got the call just for me personally, to leave America in 2013, and we were gonna come for Envision, and I felt I had a buggy bag, which I wish I brought, but maybe Zach didn't know what was gonna happen, but on an intuitive level, I knew kind of this. I didn't know the whole world would shut down. I thought I was going to be safe in Costa Rica, and I'm much freer, and I have nature, and I don't have Cinco Geo. But they announced COVID-19 the day after I arrived, and they called it a lockdown on 2 cases of supposed, because let's remember the PCR tests are crapola, and they cause presumptive positives, and the story should end there when we find out that the predictive models, funded by Billy, were bunk.
Yeah, I was an for years, and I retired, and I went to Belize, and I just wanted to commend you, because it's fun living in a country where they don't stop you from doing things. I actually had a clinic in my house.
Well, I want to tell you that if your child hasn't been V'd, they will come and take your child. Okay? I know people that have had their children taken away from them here.
Oh, wow.
And there's a $2,000 fine and prison if you're caught on the beach. I mean, there are lackadaisical, and they have to keep up with appearances. But
right. Yeah.
I am here for nature. I filmed and tweeted a wild boar. I do these in like little Nat Geo, and I have like a British accent. I filmed a dart frog yesterday. These things bring me absolute joy and sanity amidst this crazy time. Spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, Maryam, thank you. I have enjoyed listening to you. I saw you the first time you were on.
Thank you.
This is actually the 3rd time, so you missed one. Go back and look through and catch the other one too. Catherine, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a wonderful evening. Awesome. Good stuff. Thanks for the great calls tonight, guys. Aaron, go ahead and unmute, buddy. And I just want to, make a plea to the audience one more time. If you haven't liked the program yet, it's so easy to do. You just close the chat box, you click that like button, help us get more eyes on the program, share it on your favorite social media platform, email this show to your friends and your neighbors, maybe the people that you care about most in your life, because Maryam brings the quality information. Aaron, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Well, if I was doing any better, I'd be you, of course.
There we go. It's always that. Aaron, I also I sent you a message, okay, and I want you to check after the show, because we need to get you scheduled, okay?
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'll check it right after the show.
Okay.
You mentioned that Maryam. I love what you're doing. You're awesome, and I hope that all naturopathic people stop being persecuted and hunted down. Now, where the vaccinations where the kids don't get vaccinated, they're going to take them away. Maybe people could hire a hacker to, go into the thing to make it look as if your child is vaccinated.
Okay, if one, we can't say the V, we have to say the V word.
Oh,
It's okay.
Two-
I know I got demonetized, but that one
Two-
word, yeah, we don't want the
Yeah.
show to get deleted.
okay.
Two, I want to tell you that one of the reasons why I'm in the jungle is also because I covered Samoa and I witnessed 200,000 people mass V'd in a month. So around the same time, the CDC has a vaccinate with confidence program, and they also have a condition that doesn't exist called vaccine hesitancy. And if you go to my Twitter feed, my pinned tweet is a spoof satire that was picked up by Band, calling out what I dub the vitriol manic disorder. So around that time of also, there was a hashtag, doctors speak up, that us medical freedom fighters hijacked, and we made the cover of Newsweek, that there was a doctor that committed suicide, and it was turned out that for 10 years, like many in the underground, would doctor documents. And that man, even though he died in September or he went missing, and then they found his body, they circulated that story as if it was new months later. And it is to set an example that you are no longer allowed to do that. And I know people, many in Los Angeles, that have had to do that to protect their child. And the same thing here. I'm just telling you that those times are coming to a close as well.
Wow.
Because now in LA, you are only allowed 3 exemptions, if I'm not mistaken. If you issue more than that, you may lose your license.
Wow.
And also under, I believe, in the AMA, under section, I want to say 8.7, physicians, not the nurses, get a special pass that they don't have to get V'd. And I'll also say that if you look at the highest population demographic that has COVID-19, it is the military, to the point that the Pentagon issued a command to stop reporting the cases of COVID-19. Now, what do we know that they have in common? They have all been V'd, as have all, nurses. I also believe, this is a theory, that the low-hanging fruit in this soft culling are the nursing homes, are the prisons, are the homeless shelters, and the Native American and the Black community, which they've identified. So the fact that they conveniently have stated that George Floyd has COVID-19, they will be able to bring that back when we see Dark Winter, and what we are expecting, maybe, or after the alien invasion. I'm not sure. So just to keep that in mind, I enrolled, by the way, RP into the one of the first into the contact tracing program, not to become a snitch, but because I minored in psychology, I wanted to understand. And I encouraged everyone to sign up. It's free, courtesy of Johns Hopkins and Coursera. And for instance, they are teaching these people empathy. Like, they actually tell them, cue them to say, to feign understanding, that they have redefined autonomy, that under the greater good, public safety of all, it is okay to not have autonomy for the greater good.
You know what I'm immediately reminded of is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which is anything but autonomous. They're begging for supplies and vegan meats to be brought in, anything that will keep them surviving in their little fiefdom that they've created. I'm talking, in Seattle, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. I'm just what I mean is the twisting of the word autonomy. So obviously no autonomy in the situation with contact tracers, and there's no autonomy in the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. What they've done is taken over a portion of the land that was already owned and occupied, so they're colonialists, which is something that they fight against, and then they're having armed guards to take away your rights and ask for your ID, and then maybe not let you in. Plus, they have their own warlord, Roz Simone. Pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. They are everything they rail against.
It's Lord of the Flies.
It is. It's Lord of the Flies. They are their own oppressors now. I gotta love it. I gotta love it. I talked to Ben Shemkis today. I'm sure you guys remember Ben Shemkis.
I don't.
Oh, he's... I'll tell you about Ben later. It's a big story. He's been on the show before. I'll send you the link to the show. Fascinating guy. But he lives there, and he rode through, and he got 2 hours of video today. He's going to be putting out a story on the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and I'm probably going to have him on the show here to talk about it. He said it's just a mess.
Did he infiltrate?
He said he didn't even have to. He said they were so disorganized. Oh, my God. All right. Aaron, do you have any other questions for Maryam?
Well, contact tracers, I wonder if they give them brown shirts, but also this autonomous zone, I think, a flash in one area and then turn off the water and electricity going at night up through the manhole covers and down from helicopters. They can take care of these punks in a short while. But
that's my first question. Why is the water and the electricity still on? Okay, they don't have any supplies. Stop bringing them whatever they want. Make them come back out and go back to work if they have jobs.
Jam their phones.
Yes.
Psionics is the thing where your voice can heal your body. So all this talk with frequencies, maybe someone could make a device you speak into, and then it can deliver your vocal patterns to whatever part of your body ails it. And one final thing, I'm determined to find a cure for insomnia, and I'm not going to rest till I find it.
Listen.
I'm not going to rest till I find it.
I am an expert. This ring. This is aura. Because there's so many nuances. There's, first of all, what type of insomnia? Or do you have problems falling asleep?
No.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
He's not going to rest until he finds a cure for insomnia because he's an insomniac.
No.
No, but I thought you really, because there's so many, HTTP, Akava. I'm a big fan of theanine. Big fan.
Yep.
But you really have to look to see what it is. That's are you not getting enough REM? Are you not getting enough deep sleep? This ring helps. It's too bad I'm plugging this ring, but they got all these affiliates to do all this content, and then they dropped all the affiliates. So that's kind of crappy. But this is an amazing ring that also looks at your temperature and your activity and your BLM, your so I'm a big fan.
Wait, do you mean
your heart rate?
BLM, but not BLM. Is it BLM?
Sorry, not BLM.
I mean, I can understand why it's on the brain, but
oh my God, so sorry. What is the word?
But BMI.
Your resting heart. Your heart rate.
Okay.
Definitely not BLM.
Not BLM. All right, Aaron. Thanks for calling, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Okay, sweet. That was great. Okay, Tim Becker is coming up next. Tim, I hope you've got your... Man, you guys, I tried to set it up so you would be auto-muted when you came into the room, and it looks like maybe it has worked. Well, Tim's got to get his microphone on, but...
I think I'm on.
Oh, you're on. What's up, Tim? How you been, brother?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Cool hair.
Anna, down here in Georgia. A couple things. First, Maryam, your episode on Tinfoil Hat, I think it was last week, was great. So thanks.
Say again.
Your episode with Sam Tripoli on Tinfoil Hat was great. the book burning one. That was great. That was my introduction to you. So
Thank
awesome
you.
episode. I got to go back and watch the Red Pill episodes.
I get
But,
to swear there because I do have
Yeah,
a potty mouth.
This is a more, yeah. We watch our language here.
Yes, it's okay. I can censor my F words.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
So a couple questions. So my girl owns a coffee shop down here, and you're like the honey expert. So we've been looking around. There's so many different options out there. Is there anything you recommend for us to have that goes with like a lot of the teas? We have like 80 different teas at the coffee shop.
Well, I used to have, when I did fundraisers, we used to have honey tasting, like wine tasting.
Mhm.
And I personally am a fan of mesquite, but it's because I don't like sweet, so it's less sweet. And there's D. Lusby, that's an organic beekeeper that has amazing mesquite. I also sell Acida, which is from Africa, and I had a man from Tanzania tell me it tastes like an African woman. But it's pollinated with cacao.
Okay.
And it has a chocolatey, a smoky taste. I really think it's really preference. The most important thing is to make sure it's organic, which is very difficult to find. And just a little tidbit, that why are the bees doing better in the cities than in the countryside?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Getting into bees, there's so much info out there. It's crazy.
but
I'll definitely.
it's as an antimicrobial for your gut, even to help with sleep, just to have a little, if you have some sugar drops, you can mix it. I used to mix it with collagen and a little bit of butter and water and make like a little tea, make elixir with some reishi as well. So I don't know if that answers your question.
I don't know. You put me in a couple little directions. The mesquite sounds kind of cool. And then another thing, I don't know. This is kind of a strange question, but is there anything that would help with women's hair loss?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Before I left, because I'm having hair loss issues, I got, and I again wish that I brought it, a helmet with
the red laser light. yeah.
Yes, and then collagen, silica, biotin, bees, ideally a formula, looking at thyroid levels. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Looking to see if there's any poisons in the body. Hoshi Wu.
But all the like B1, we've been told B1, B12. It's
when it comes to the bees, then I go to the place, are you an undermethylator or an overmethylator? Like I had the brilliant idea of taking niacin and going into the infrared, and I was taking high doses, and honestly by day 3 I was a little bit cuckoo. I was feeling depressed, and then the functional medicine that I work with kind of like apprentice and used me as a guinea pig, because he diagnosed me with hyperloria, which I never heard of before. But anyways, you need to find out if you're an undermethylator, overmethylator. Take your raw data. I took 23andMe before they were compromised, and I knew about Susan, his sister. But I then upload all the raw data on Prometheus, and then read, find out about your genetic SNPs. I'm really specific and detailed.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I'm not a salesperson, it's not. And then nascent iodine, which is also now on the QUACKHACK hit list, is also brilliant. Like I have a story on Honey Colony about the impact of iodine.
Okay.
So we really have to look at why, how old she is.
Yeah, well, she got the blood work done, and what they were recommending is getting like the shots of B1 and B12. And she got the B12 shot, and she felt just like crap after getting it.
Really? Well, what kind of B12? Is it the cyanide kind or is it the methylcolabine? And I would get them from and inject them into my butt cheek, and as well as magnesium.
Okay,
So
and
that
the other one,
methyl I'm not
or
pronouncing
methyl something. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Methylated. But again, I would look to see if she's an under and over methylator.
Okay. Cool.
Tim,
Well, thank you
Tim,
for that.
Do you have a
we've only got
tip or a
10
P?
minutes left. I want to
Okay.
try and get a couple more calls in. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you
All right.
calling.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Talk to you soon, brother. Bye-bye. All right. Also, Gino sent me a PayPal and wants to know your thoughts on C60.
Big fan. I'm wearing, this is Shungite.
Yeah.
So Dustin Nemos makes a C60. I wish I brought my C60 with me. I had a C60 hemp. But basically, it does help. I'm not an expert on C60, other than I know that it can help with EMF and protection. Maybe
All
you
right.
can say more, RP.
So positive benefits to C60 potentially. I have a C60 sponsor that is going to be coming on the show probably in the next month. So I will let you guys know once I get more specific information. Group C is on the line. Group C, can you unmute?
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother? How you been?
Pretty good. How about you?
Awesome. Can't complain. What's your question or comment for Maryam?
So, Maryam, about halfway through college, I went through a phase where I subjected myself to a lot of stress, a lot of negativity, and it would eventually cause me to experience the health issues because I let it get out of control. And then a couple of years later, I would get red pilled, learn about the truth of our reality, and then thereafter, I would learn about resonance and wavelengths and frequencies and how they can be used for healing. Eventually, I would come across the solfeggio frequencies,
Yes.
and I researched their benefits. I still have a lot to learn about them, but I listen to them every night to when I meditate, because I'm using meditation to help reverse the damage that I've done to myself with respect to all those negative tendencies that I just told you about. And then I learned about this thing that Red Pill introduced me to called PEMF. Are you familiar with that at all?
I am familiar with PMF. I haven't used PMF to help with sleep.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think that's actually what Gaffernon was referring to as well, pulsed electromagnetic therapy or frequency therapy.
I have a story on PMF on my site. I also have a story on C60 as well.
At honeycolony.com.
That is correct. Thank you.
So, Group C, did you get one of the PEMF machines?
I didn't.
Okay.
I invested in a red light therapy machine only because I've dealt with a lot of sleep issues. When I would go to exercise, I would take forever to heal, and I looked into remedies for all that, and the red light therapy machine really makes a difference in that. And my next major investment will be the PEMF, only because I've used the red light therapy before, and I've used it long enough to make my own purchase. I haven't used PEMF long enough for me to make or commit to such a purchase. So eventually,
they're expensive. They're expensive. Have you looked at if you're dealing with any viral loads? Like, I don't know what your strat. Did you get shingles? Like, what's the deal?
It's not that. I mean, I later realized a lot of it's the food that I eat. Like, I cut out caffeine, I cut out alcohol, I cut out sugar, fried foods. I eat super, super clean. I'm doing so much better with a little bit of a mess to clean up, and I'm just determined to make it near normal again, and that's all contingent that I can
look at your gut. Look at your gut. Also, we partnered with intestinal gut biome. I'm so upset because I think that they sold their company to GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. But looking at the microbiome, can have a huge impact on mood. So I would just say, look at that. There's so many different strains of probiotics, and some of them, there's many strains, and they serve different purposes as well. The PMF, it's really like something, whatever resonates. I know I like Solvaggio.
I
It
go to
helps you
sleep
get-
with the Solfaggio.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Which one?
I don't even know that I have it favorited on YouTube. It's a channel that just it's like 24 hours a day, and I just found whichever one was specifically for sleep, and then I use that when I go to sleep.
Yeah, I'd like to have that
Sure.
link. I
Yeah.
think it helps with theta, get you into theta. I had in Costa Rica met a neural scientist, and I wrote a story on neural feedback, which is on Honey Colony, in exchange for him scanning my brain and doing neural feedback. But I didn't know yet that it was mold that I was dealing with, and he basically told me when I close my eyes, I don't go. It's like my eyes are open. So anyway, again, there's so many nuances to sleep issues. Looking at if there's viruses, looking at stress levels, looking at neurofeedback is good as well.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's a whole thing with the meditation that I'm incorporating in the solfeggio frequencies. I'm trying to reprogram my subconscious mind to deviate from any of those self-sabotaging tendencies, which I'm seeing progress, but I got a long ways to go.
It's a practice. It's a muscle.
It is. It's like everything else takes a while.
Group C, buddy, we've only got 4 minutes left. I want to get one more call in, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
right,
you both have a good night.
Blessings
You too.
to you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right,
Appreciate your call. All right, you guys, we'll get one more in. Let's see. And I will actually give you guys the link to my sponsor that I had that makes the PEMF machines. It's coachjimmyk.com/shop. So there's all different types of Earth Pulse is the brand name of it, but there's a couple of different types of machines they have, and they're different
Earth
sizes.
Pulse is good.
You know what? We've only got 2 calls left, so let's go ahead and take them both so that we don't leave anybody out. Caller, I need you to mute the stream. Please mute the stream, and then let's get your question in so that we can get the last caller as well. Caller, mute your stream, hun. Who are you? RK, are you there? Caller, you're on the air. Hi, can I get your name?
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
LJ, I'm calling for TN.
LJ, okay. What's your question?
Well, actually, I have 2 questions. The first one is, I've been in the emergency room 3 times within the last 6 months because of stomach issues. Is there like a really good detox or something that I can take that might, like leaky gut type thing? Can you suggest one brand?
We have to look at what you're eating. Are you eating sugar, dairy, and gluten? Are you eating gluten?
Probably all 3.
Yeah, so there's no point doing a detox if you don't change your diet. Sorry. You need to change your diet. That's what's causing the IBS, or the leaky gut, and it's no joke, because every time there's gliadin, it releases a toxin, and so you have the close-knit junction in your intestines, and it opens it up. You're creating pores. You're creating permeability. Next thing you know, your food's going into your bloodstream, God knows what else, and it's a mess. So we really there's no easy answer to this. You know, did you take antibiotics? Did you take any acid reflux? We really it's the easiest thing, and yet it's the hardest thing for people to do. And so as a coach, I'm not telling you what to do. It's steeped in positive psychology, and I'm just being an ally. As a consultant, I'm being more authoritative in that we're taking an intake and we're really making changes. So combining those 2 but there's no benefits from my opinion, for gluten, for sugar. I don't drink. Like, why is it that I'm 47 and don't look it? And I've had a lot of health issues. It's like lupus is no joke. Getting hit by a Ford Explorer and being dragged 30 feet is no joke. So I can help, but you know, the first question I ask on my intake form is, are you ready? Because if not, you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time. And so I'm not wanting to sound harsh, but that will help you with your gut. There's something you're allergic to, it seems like.
I don't know. But okay, you said gluten, sugar, and what?
Dairy.
Dairy. I don't do dairy.
I mean, you can
very
have
much.
like raw dairy. Like the previous caller said he cut out caffeine. Caffeine is one of the most highly sprayed crops. It's susceptible to mold, but if you get a good low acid, and you put butter in it and you bulletproof your coffee, wow. I mean, I follow keto diet. So what I do is I look at your diet and I make little changes so we're not going crazy. We're taking baby steps.
Butter in coffee sounds delicious. I use MCT, so I put the MCT because I'm on the keto diet, and I'm back on the keto diet. I should say. Yeah. Okay. All right. I will go for it because I love me some salted butter. All right. Well, thank you very much for your caller. We got to get this last one in. We're already over the midnight hour.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hey, have a wonderful evening.
Blessings.
All right, and finally, last caller of the evening. Don't forget to mute your stream. Caller, mute your stream. We'll go ahead and get that while we're waiting for a caller to mute their stream. I do have a donation from Crypto Beatles. Thank you very much, buddy. And he says, ask her thoughts on apricot seeds for the treatment of the big C, as G. Edward Griffin speaks about. Is the cyanide an issue within the seeds? Is that an issue?
Talking about B17?
He's saying that G. Edward Griffin suggests apricot seeds for the treatment of cancer, and he's asking if cyanide, is that from apricot seeds? Is that where they get it? I thought it came from almonds.
I don't know about cyanide, but I mean, Zach and I have taken apricot seeds and the B17, and that's like an old time. There's also GC MAF.
How many apricot seeds per day would be safe, would you say?
I'm not, honestly, I wouldn't know, because I also tend to OD on I mega dose. I use myself as a guinea. I microdose certain things because I'm super sensitive, but then sometimes I mega dose. So I would look, I think that information, use Quant. I think that's the best search engine, by the way. I use multiple ones.
Quant. Okay. Last caller of the evening. Can we get your name?
Yeah, Tracy. Can you hear me?
Tracy, I can hear you. Thank you so much. What's your question or comment for Maryam?
Okay, great. I love you both. I will be quick. I basically was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and I am taking zinc, aspirin, vitamin D3, niacin. I'm also doing the colloidal silver, and I'm also doing full spectrum CBD. Is there anything that you can tell me natural, on the natural end of this, to maybe not cure it completely, but at least retard it enough to where I don't have to worry about it affecting me in a negative way?
Well, first of all, again, I'm not a doctor. I have to say that because I could go to jail.
Right.
And two, I don't know enough about you. I wouldn't be real if I was like, do this. I can tell you, don't eat sugar. Are you eating?
Oh, my
sugar?
diet is perfect. Okay, I cut out meat. I cut out dairy. I'm gluten free. I really only eat fruits and vegetables, and no sugar.
But that might not be necessarily. Nothing. That might not necessarily be what you need. I don't vilify meat. I eat meat. And I think when you're rebuilding, I do an informal poll. It seems like A and B types, blood types, are able to sustain themselves. If you're an O type, so I don't know if it's because of ethics, but for me, it's about clean food. I'm
right. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm in the jungle now, so I eat more fruits, but that's a lot of sugar. So I would really need to look at your diet and to also see like what your nutrient levels are. There's lots of things that can help. Look at GC math.
Fenbendazole too.
What is it? Venazole?
Fenbendazole. It is
Okay.
it's a dewormer for dogs, and there are people who have completely reversed their sickness as a result of taking that. You can buy it on Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive, and go ahead and check it out. Sandra, we're going to have to ask about decalcifying the pineal gland on the next show, or you can go to honeycolony.com or follow her on Twitter to get any other questions answered if you guys want to follow her.
Please follow me on Twitter because
please,
I'm
please.
really reporting live in real time.
She is. All right. Well, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. We are over. Luckily, RDoc is not going live tonight, so I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. Thank you so much to Maryam for joining us. I love how real you are. Appreciate it. If you guys want to get in touch with her, all of her links are in the description below. Last word, Maryam. Go ahead.
Just so you can buzz on over to Honey Colony and simplytransformative.com, which is our other site. And kindly, I also have a YouTube channel. It's YouTube Maryam Henein.
Link is in the description.
Okay, be later. Yeah. So just blessings in these times. I just really ask people to go within and to face what's coming up and to try to operate out of kindness and not let our emotions dictate and use logic and not be ruled by fear. Because that impacts the system.
Good stuff.
Immune system. Yeah, just blessings, everyone.
All right. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sandra has emailed you directly, so you guys can get in touch with each other. I appreciate everyone for coming tonight. Don't forget, if you do go to honeycolony.com, you can use code REDPILL78 to get 20% off your purchase. And if you feel so in your heart that you want to keep supporting the channel, obviously there are options below. And then also, of course, you can go to my sponsor, and then they'll know that it is worthwhile to go ahead and keep advertising on my channel and keep me alive and stuff. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Good luck. God bless. We will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. with Praying Medic.
Wow.